What's going on, guys? Here it's our market in a minute. Crazy, absolutely volatile. I don't have enough adjectives to describe this weekly rate update. I do want to tell you that I've shot this weekly rate update 3 times now, Tuesday, Wednesday, and now today, because every time I go to edit the video to send out, the same day something happens. So it's around 12 noon today on Thursday. I'm hoping I can get this out in time before something else happens. So let's jump into the mortgage-backed security graph. So you guys see here the craziness that we're watching left to right chronologically over time. Every candlesticks a day in the market lower in the graph. Those higher rates higher in the graph. Are those lower rates off to the right-hand side here? Yeah, we've been all over the board. 3 days of very negative, volatile pricing coming out. Coming off the cusp of when we had some of the best pricing. We've gone all over the place. You'll see which was circled here. That arrow going down on the graph again. We found a little bit of a level of support here, but we've really shot up in interest rate from where we were just 72 hours or so ago. So moving forward, what is that? What is going on? Where have we been? Where are we going to? So overall, guys, we went from around like a 6.6 interest rate on your 30-year fixed standard, 0-point type average across the country. We hit 7% yesterday. Came back off of that a little bit. So we had, almost a 0.5 point swing within a couple trading days. And it's all been driven by really 3 things we're going to be looking at this week. Number 1, let's jump into it. It is tariffs. You guys know what I've been talking about, tariffs. So tariffs, bond traders know now with these tariffs going out there, we were looking really bad. We were really down yesterday. We were much worse in interest rate until the President-elect Trump went ahead and made that 90-day, stale moratorium on the vast majority of the tariffs except for China. So that did prop us. It helped us tremendously. So whether this is going to be one of his strategies, was it to kind of scare everyone? We need clarity, and I am not being political. I'm all about our country doing well, no matter who is the president. But we need some clarity. What are the, is this to level the playing field? Is this to bring manufacturing back to the United States? We need some clarity on why these tariffs are there. There's multitude of reasons that we can look at for this, but we need some clarity on this big time. So the tariffs, as said before in my prior weeks, you guys know that's front foremost what is moving us around are these tariffs and what's going to be going on. So that is moving us tremendously right now. Number 2, we get back into is the Fed. So the Fed, don't forget, they're the ones that are going to be helping set policy, trying to move those interest rates, maximum employment, keeping prices and inflation low. Well, they're going to be looking at all this stuff. So the Fed went through, had their minutes that were released yesterday. Really a moot point because there wasn't too much in there with what the Fed was saying. There were just going to be more of the same. And I said this before, they're going to be on a holding pattern because of all this uncertainty. They're not going to make moves right now. A lot of people were thinking they're going to have to be forced to cut interest rates. Maybe that's part of President-elect Trump's plan, is to force them to have to cut interest rates. But for right now, from what the last FOMC minutes showed, they're going to hang tight. There's too much volatility and uncertainty for right now for them to do anything. So we're just kind of trying to gain traction here. So the Fed kind of just on pause and more of the same of just let's see what happens. And number 3, going into it, inflationary data. So we had inflationary data that came out before, year over year, month over month inflationary data, which was positive. It did show that inflation came down a little bit, but that was in a different world, if you want to say that. Going back and looking a month ago or a year ago, we were in an absolutely totally different economy, totally different set of problems and challenges and headwinds that we had of what we're looking at. Now, let's move forward. And this is where bond traders, which dictate your mortgage interest rates, are going to be looking. What are these tariffs going to do? Is it going to be a lot more recessionary, inflationary? A lot of them are moving more towards the more inflationary problems, and that is what the Fed's going to look at. Are we going to be looking at increased inflation moving forward? So these reports that came out today, they're great, but that was in a totally different environment than where we're going into, which we know we're going into these moving forward. So how will that play into these inflationary numbers? Again, what the Fed's looking at. Long story short, guys, what I want to get at is, and a big takeaway from I'm telling my clients is, no matter what happens with all of this stuff, Some people are feeling, let's wait for a market crash and I'm going to jump in at that time. I'm going to wait for this all to crash out. The stock market and the market that you invest your money in is absolutely tied, but they're different. It's a different beast than the real estate market. Because I'll tell you what, if the market crashes out and people are, I'm going to hold off, I want to tell you this, if we just wait and you're going to hold off until the rates get down to 3% or 4%, you're banking on that to purchase a property right now. Guess what's going to happen? The market is going to be flooded with buyers that are going to be jumping in along with you to buy that same house. And your realtor will tell you, I will tell you as well, in our market that we have a lack of inventory that's not being resolved. So there's going to be still a supply and demand, a limited amount of homes. Now, if you want to wait for that market to be crashed before you jump in, now you have 50% more buyers buying that house you're buying too. That house is going to get bid up because there's only so many inventory. So be careful of what you wish for in terms of when you think you're going to be walking into the market. I would rather jump into a market now with less buyers and competition with the price where it is now. And if the market crashes or tanks, great. I mean, I don't want to say great, but if it does, just refinance your loan. Then you'll be securing the property, got it at better terms, and you'll be able to get a lower rate. So holding off and waiting for a crash of anything is absolutely never going to be in your best interest, especially if you're trying to bank on everything crashing out for those rates to drop. Because if you look at how it's going to work, it's not going to be in your best interest. Been there, done that in 20 years of seeing this. It's not going to be a good strategy to go with, guys. But again, any questions, as always, give me a call, let me know. Rollercoasters, baby. That's where we're at. That's where we're going to be this week, and that's where we're going to be for a while. So cashing out falling knife is going to be tough. Any questions, let me know. Talk to you guys soon.